My God, like as a society, our level of tolerance, if it's not at a zero, it is close to zero. So I'm out of breath because I had to run and come and tell you guys this. So happy Mental Health Awareness Month. And my plan all through the month is to share news, tips, and guidance and advice about mental wellness because that is what it's about. And I encourage you to do the same. However, today, I want to ask you, have you guys heard about what's going on in Canada? And the reason why I'm bringing it to you, because you're like, Canada, what does that have to do with us? For those who do not live in Canada, if you are in America, if it's going on in Canada, it could soon be going on here too, okay? So what happened was, have you heard of assisted suicide? All right, I'm gonna drop the article link down in the comments, but long story short, there was a young lady and age 30, 37, I think, in her 30s. And she went to a hospital because she was trying to get help. And she was experiencing depression and, all those emotions that she wanted to get help. When she went to the hospital, the type of help that they offered her, hear me out now, was assisted suicide.
Oh, hell no!
It's the audacity. Can you imagine that? So you are experiencing depression, anxiety, all these uncomfortable emotions, and you go to a hospital to try to figure out what resources can I get for help, and they tell you, I know how I can help you.
Now you must die.
Let's die. And so assisted suicide is a term used when medical aid is given to assist you in dying. So you see that more often with individuals who have terminal illness, and they want to make sure that they are comfortable when they are, dying. They don't want to continue to go through the pain, all that stuff. So as a clinician, when I know myself and other colleagues work so hard to speak about the benefit of mental wellness and different tools and different techniques to strengthen, skills, and confidence and empowerment, to hear that someone did what we asked them to do, which is to reach out and get help. And the only thing that we could do was to offer them assisted suicide.
I don't think I can take this. I don't think I can take it.
And, I was having this conversation, and it just shows how as a society, which is very scary, okay? What I'm about to say is very scary, but it just shows as a society how our tolerance has just changed. Experiencing anxiety and depression is okay. These are normal emotions that you can live with, okay? With some tools and some help, trying some different things, we could possibly work it out. We could work it out. And so what I'm hearing and what a lot of people that work in this field are seeing is that any ounce of being uncomfortable, any ounce of anxiety or depression is just hope for failure. Like, you can't go on. And it's so far-fetched from the truth. It's so far from the truth. And that's why as clinicians and, social workers, mental health clinicians, psychiatrists, tap in, let me know how you feel. But that is why we spend so much time on speaking about the stigma of mental wellness, because for one, we want to offer tools to strengthen mental capacity. And so don't get me wrong, currently we are going through more things than previous generations have gone through. That is definitely a fact. However, considering death so easily is scary to hear. And so that article kind of highlighted and brought more attention to a lot of younger people are actually considering that. When you read that article, it will show you that 1 in 3 Canadians are actually considering assisted suicide because they are experiencing depression and anxiety. Yeah. And so that is why we talk about things like the technique of tapping. We talk about the importance of, surrounding yourself by healthy people, the impact of music, positive and healthy music like jazz and classical music. We also talk about how moving your body can actually change your overall mood. And so when we're talking about changing and these different techniques, we're not just talking about these techniques because it makes you feel good. We're saying that if you were to go and have an MRI done and you came in and you was depressed and you were anxious, okay? And you came in and took an MRI, and then we utilize these different tools that you hear a lot of clinicians talk about, and you were to leave, there will be a chemical change in your brain activity. That is what we're talking about. We're not just talking about things that you can do to make you feel good. We're saying that these things that you participate in can actually chemically change your brain. And so, not to go too deep, because like I said, this is just a video to highlight what is going on in mental wellness and how it's important for us to strengthen our mental capacity, okay? But I will say this. We have to remember that the brain is a muscle. So just like you work out and you exercise your muscles and over time you become more strengthened, it's the same thing with your brain. And you have the capability to control it. And so I know that is what I always talk about to my clients, because I always take an empowerment approach, because a lot of us go through things where we feel like, oh my God, like this has to be, I'm constantly going through things. I'm constantly feeling this way. So this has to be it for me. But in fact, you have the capability to change your perspective and the thoughts that you tell yourself, because that is primarily a factor in how we feel. So if you're noticing that you're not feeling well, there are different techniques that you can implement to change your thoughts, which can overall change your mood. Are you following me? So to hear that story of, like I said, this young woman reaching out, which is what all clinicians advocate for. We want to teach our people, and we always tell our clients, reach out when you need help, right? So we can consider different resources. And to hear that this person was presented with assisted suicide alarms me. Then two, to hear that now a lot of younger people, their tolerance are low, and they are showing and they are saying they don't have the mental capacity to just deal with life, is alarming. And so they are trying to recommend themselves for assisted suicide. It's just, it blew my mind. It blew my mind. And I'm just still trying to process, like, as a society, what else can we do? What are some things that you have considered, in reference to just bringing awareness and letting people know that our body, as humans, our bodies are amazing. It is amazing. And many of us haven't even tapped into the capacity of things that we can truly do with our brains, our bodies, our limbs. Like, we are literally cutting ourselves short. And yes, we know that social media and all these things have helped us become more disconnected from one another, and then also disconnected from ourselves. And so it's so important to just sit with yourself and recognize, like, how powerful you are. Like, seriously, just think about how powerful you are and the things that you have overcome and how you did it. It all started with a mindset change. And so, I don't know, like, read the article. Tell me in the comments how you felt when you read it. And like I said, for those who are clinical professionals, let me know what was your take on this. I'm really interested to hearing. And if you have not already, please join in and subscribe to the channel. I will continue to push out educational videos and just things that I feel that is important to mental wellness and overall healing and mental health.